Gigi, finishing the section on sustainable fish tonight from FoodWISE. Aquaculture is a problematic answer to wild stock questions and issues by FoodWISE standards. Some of the problems of aquaculture are like the problems of other kinds of livestock farming. What are the fish fed? Often other fish, depleting the ocean biomass further and competing with wild fish for food. Is where they're raised polluted and therefore the fish or shellfish contaminated? Certainly some aquaculture around the world is well managed, but artificial ponds where fish and shellfish are raised can be susceptible to pollution from runoff, and the fish food may not be well regulated. Are the fish dosed up with hormones and antibiotics? Often, yes. In addition, a lot of aquaculture has ecological problems not shared by most other livestock operations. A lot of fin fish farming, particularly for Atlantic salmon, is in pens in the ocean in coastal Europe, South America, Canada, and a bit of the United States. These pens are controversial because of evidence that parasites, chemicals, and waste from them are harmful to native wild salmon that use nearby waters. Also, Atlantic salmon sometimes escape from the pens, raising the threat of establishing populations or even interbreeding with local Pacific salmon. Raising salmon in onshore tanks would seem to be the solution. And in fact, this form of aquaculture is in the early stages of development. The standard problems of livestock farming would have to be properly managed: a sustainable food source, disease and pest management, waste disposal, and so on. But at least the ecological impacts on wild salmon would be lessened and the genetic threats avoided. Certainly the world wants and needs to eat fish, but ocean fishing needs to be sustainable, and farmed fish need to be healthy to eat and farmed without creating ecological problems. In particular, eating Pacific salmon in North America is FoodWISE. It's an excellent food and as unadulterated as possible, and the fishing itself is intensively managed. The 5 species have multiple names. What you'll see in the store are labels saying king or chinook, red or sockeye, silver or coho, chum or kita, pink or humpback. Sometimes it's just called wild salmon. Then ask what kind and find the kind you like best for taste and affordability. And I just have to give a shout out to my good colleagues at Desire Fish Company who fish in Alaska waters for salmon, and their pinks are absolutely delicious. The way in which they're harvested and stored. Ask questions, be informed. Ask about the whole process, the sustainability of it, and then experience it for yourself, for the taste. And I have an article tonight, which is a New York Times survey of 500 or so epidemiologists. What's the deal? What are you willing to do in the immediate future, in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months, in the next year, ever again? And many of them are talking about, well, they're all talking about a vaccine and what they're going to be willing to do and not do until that vaccine is available. What rubric are they using? A WISE rubric: whole, informed, sustainable, and experienced. And with the 511 or so epidemiologists, that's a whole lot of experience.